My hair ain't big.
Oh, you're not gonna mess with your hair every 5 seconds, are you?
I always do.
Yeah, okay.
I do.
I know, but you don't have to.
I'm fighting the urge.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I likes to mess with my hair.
Yeah, you don't
Hello,
have to.
everybody.
What's good, family? It's your boy Big L, Lady Adena in the house.
I was wondering which name to use. I'll go with that.
And we are here to give you another installment of Safeplace,
Yep.
where we like to talk about relationship struggles, relationship successes, relationship issues, concerns, problems, whatever the case may be. And like to kind of just have an open dialogue with the folk because we, whether it be together or separately, haven't experienced a whole lot of positive, encouraging conversations for couples trying to be successful couples nowadays.
Right.
There's so many different things that get in the way, that cause problems, whatever the case may be. But one of the things that we found that was integral to our continued growth and success in our relationship is communication. And even with communication, that can be and I hate to use the word struggle. And let me tell you the reason why I hate to use the word struggle. Because whenever folks get into a relationship or get married, you always got them old Negroes that come through and tell you, well, you know, marriage is hard. You know, marriage is work, child. You know, and they always, why they always dress it up as if
they don't dress it up. That's
it's
the
a
problem.
funeral. You know
like
what
you're
I mean?
making the worst decision of your life.
Like it's literally you're getting ready to go to a funeral.
Yeah.
Like, and you're the one who's dying.
Right.
So they're getting you ready. And you're picking out your hearse, your old outfits. Like, come on. I mean, the happiest place of my life,
but it gives you that self-sabotaging feeling.
Yeah, like, and self-sabotage is already an issue amongst black folk. So, the topic of this particular live, we want to talk about growth in relationships. Now, it's kind of common sense that when you're in a relationship, you got two completely different personalities. Even if they're similar,
they're different.
They're different. Mm-hmm. Okay? But when you have two completely different personalities, now let's take it for instance. Let's talk about my wife and I, for instance. My wife and I's personality are two entirely different things. I mean,
the different ends of the spectrum.
Listen.
Why is my sound going in and out? No.
We don't have to read every comment.
Okay.
We don't have to read every comment. It might chop in. Okay. If it goes in and out, Sean, apologize. We're doing a simulcast on her page and my page. We'll try to, hopefully it gets better as we go along. But as the personalities,
as you just saw,
just seen that perfect example of our personalities. My wife's personality, you describe your personality. I don't want to do that. Because I don't think you need me to describe your personality.
Or what if we describe each other?
No. You just describe your own personality. And then I'll correct you if you're wrong.
Well, then for all that, you could have just said what it was.
And, people are waiting for you.
So I personally think that my personality is pretty...
Did you just say personally think my personality?
Me, myself, personally.
Is that like a triple negative? No? Okay. All right,
you just saw it. There you go. That was example number 2 of our personalities.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I have a big personality. I like people, but then I don't like people. But I never meet a stranger. I'm talkative. I'm loud. Uh, Not like loud, like all the time loud. I can be quiet and meek. But for the most part, I'm loud. I'm a jokative. Is that a word? That's not a word.
Well, today
I'm
it is.
I joke a lot. I enjoy laughter. I enjoy the lighter things of life. Uh, I still can go for deep conversation, that kind of thing. But I enjoy laughing, and I think that everybody should laugh. So I'm a jokester sometimes.
Okay. I'm on the other end of that spectrum. I am black and white, straight to the point, direct, blunt, incredibly even keeled, really mild mannered, and contrary to what it may seem oftentimes, I'm really a incredibly laid back person. I like to laugh, but you won't catch me around a whole lot of people just laughing and going all crazy and jovial and stuff like that.
That's the
That's
word I
just
wanted.
not
Thank you.
really my personality. But it's really fascinating that when you see my wife and I together, you can literally see our personalities. Like when we're talking and just dealing with people out in the public or out, just every day, you can get a very good glimpse of our personalities. Like my wife will speak to everybody. Like every single person that she comes in contact with, it's a smile. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Everything great? Yay! I, on the
Not
other
that
hand,
bad.
I am not doing that. I'll speak, but I'm only going to speak to you if you speak to me. I'll be polite, I'll be cordial, but it's those different aspects of our personality that when you're in a relationship and you're trying to continue to uh, be on the same page, that whole thought process of becoming one is not something that we exactly subscribe to. Uh, we believe that in a lot of ways that we become one, but on a overall Christian sense, I guess that would be fair. That we don't think that we become one in the sense that we lose our
Ourselves.
individual
Yeah.
personalities and our individual complexities. We don't lose those things. And earlier tonight, my wife and I were having a discussion. We were talking, and she was expressing herself, and it just got to be a really unintentionally heavy conversation.
Which I have the propensity to do. I think in most of our conversations.
Well, and it turns out to be that way. And it basically boiled down to, we're going to get into the actual conversation, but it was a conversation about when you're in a relationship and you're growing individually, which if you're in a relationship growing individually, you're going to ultimately be growing collectively. But how each person, according to their own personality and their own character, and all those things about them, how they grow. And based off of your own life experiences and the things that you've gone through affects how you grow, and it affects how you respond to the world. Now, we were talking, and my wife oftentimes is looking towards me when something happens to see how I'm going to respond. And she kind of takes cues off of my response. And I told her that's cool and that's great and everything, but I don't want that to negate who you are. Like the reason why, or some of the reasons why I am straight to the point, I'm cut and dry, I'm that type of dude where I'm just going to say what I'm thinking and give you that brutal honesty is because of my own life experiences. Like, I feel comfortable enough in my own self as where I am as a man based off of my own life experiences, based off of the pain and things that I've experienced in my younger years. I don't think there's anything a person can say to me now that can cause me the kind of pain that I've experienced when I was younger. So it's given me that sense of that sense of power to be able to just be like, that's dumb, don't do that, ask the questions, just to give people that raw, unadulterated truth and just be like, bam, this is what it is. And it oftentimes is a truth that is incredibly difficult for people to handle, particularly if you don't know me. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't know me and I tell you something, I say something to it can really be abrasive. You can think I'm arrogant. You can think that I'm malicious or mean. But if you know me, you kind of know that.
No, you know that ain't where
yeah, you know that's not where it's coming from. Yeah. So when you're dealing with someone who's coming out of a situation where there was types of abuse happening.
That would be me.
When there's a type of abuse happening, can you imagine what some of the feelings that she could be feeling when I give her that straight, brutal, and brutal not in the sense of absence of compassion,
right,
but brutal in the sense of it cuts right through all the fat and gets right to the meat and the bone of the situation.
Yeah. It's interesting, and like I was sharing with my husband earlier, it's like for me, this growing process in this relationship is really, really wild. I guess is like the only word that I can think of. It's allowing me to have the things in a relationship or the qualities in a relationship that I've always wanted, but always found myself to be the person on like where my husband is right now, like in our relationship. So it's always been me kind of pushing the other person or making, the decisions as far as what's going to happen, like on a smaller scale. And it's just really interesting. It's kind of made it to where now I feel like I need almost like validation from him in order to be me. Mm. But I don't, because he has facilitated such a space for me to be me that I know subconsciously that I don't need his validation, because I know that whatever he's saying to me is what he means, and what he means is what he says, and that's what he does also. So it's not like, I need those things, but just coming out of the situations that I've come out of, it, it's like one of those all in your head type of things. Makes me feel like I need to, base what I do next off of his reaction to the previous conversation or the previous thing that happened. So it's just really different. And I think that having the effective communication that we have and the type of communication, the ways in which we communicate makes a really big difference on how I react in this relationship and what I do and what I don't do, and what I think about, how I think about it. So because we talk about every aspect of issues, good, bad, or otherwise, we talk about them all the way around. So it's nice, but it's I have to get out of my head. Like I'm learning how to get out of my head while trying to grow within myself and grow with my husband. Like what you say? What's the word? Collectively.
And the thing is, we we didn't arrive, or in this particular instance, I didn't arrive in this so-called place of being able to offer this type of things to my wife uh, overnight. There was some mistakes that I had made. There was some failures. There was some growth. There was some self-examination that your boy had to do in order to get to a place where, for one, my manhood is not directly connected to my wife, meaning that she doesn't have the ability to take my manhood or to give my manhood. I'm a man regardless of what she thinks, what she feels, what she's going through. So that allows me to be that for her when she's going through those things. And it's really, really fascinating, man, to see uh, how we get to a place sometimes with the communication. Now, for many of us, man, we think communication, we often think communication is this wonderful thing. We're sitting back and having this great, lovely conversation. We're sipping wine and eating cheese and crackers, and all this beautiful thing is taking place, and it's always positive, and there's never any misunderstandings, and everything is going smooth. But the real effective communication oftentimes take place in the midst of you're confused about what the person is saying. You're confused about what you're feeling. You're unsure of what you want. You're unsure of what the hell this person is talking about. You want them to get right to the point. You want them to get right to that very thing that is going to make you feel better. Many of us have been taught to listen as if we are defense attorneys. We're listening for points and pieces of what people are saying so we cannot understand fully what's taking place, but so we can win the case, so we can win that particular argument. And it oftentimes turns into this winning thing. It's a competition. Like you're trying to gain a step on your partner instead of gaining understanding and to be in a position, in a place with your partner where that growth is able to take place. So sometimes you got to be able to ask those difficult, and I don't actually say that they're difficult questions. I just think that they're questions that need to be asked oftentimes. Like, if I was to ask you how you feel, I don't want just to hear you tell me that you feel good. I want to know what you're feeling specifically, particularly if you're my mate. Like, a lot of open ended questions. Like, what do you think about that? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about what I just said? And randomly checking in on your relationship. Like, yo, so how you feel about everything right now? How you feel, how's everything going for you here? What are you feeling about what we have done? What would you like to see done? How do you feel about our financial situation? How do you feel about our emotional state? How do you feel about things sexually? How are those things making you feel? Is there more that you need? Is there less that you need? Particularly in the conversation earlier, my wife was saying how she's often in this quandary, like trying to figure out what I'm thinking and one not necessarily what I'm thinking, but wanting to be. I took it as she wanted to know what I was thinking almost before I articulated it to her what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like
Yeah.
I want to know what he's thinking before we get to this part.
Right.
Like if I bring this topic to him, I want to kind of have an understanding of where he's going to go with it already. And because of my personality, where I am, I don't offer that to her. So like when she's saying something, I'll have the same look on my face as if nothing's being said and didn't give her the feedback. And for her, because she's such a, is that fair? A feeling
Yeah, I'm a feeler.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
Like her feeling, she wants to always feel me out. And you know, sometimes one of my biggest issues is that she'll ask me how my day goes at work.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
I'll come and be like, yeah, it was okay, you know, same as yesterday, you know what I mean? And don't give her any more than that. Now, I ain't seen her for almost 10 hours that day. And all I can offer her is,
Oh, it was alright.
all right, it was all right. And I'm like, man, I'm robbing you of an opportunity to be involved in my life because there could be something minuscule or something that I have internalized that I can offer. And it's just like, man, I had to check myself on that. Be like, hold on, that's not fair to you that it's like that.
But we had another, I don't want to say like another incident, but it was another situation that took place too that helped you to realize that, you know, you don't share as much about your day with the coworker or whatever. They came to you, they wanted to be married again, and you was about to go off into the conversation with her, but then you was like, nope, let me not go off into that conversation.
And this is one of the things that I believe in doing everything possible to protect my relationship with my wife. And that means me as a man not putting myself in some dumbass situations to get myself hemmed up or connected with another woman in a manner which I'm only supposed to be connected with my wife. Meaning, I'm mindful of the kind of conversations that I have with the opposite sex. Like, I'm not having any raunchy ass, just flat out nasty or inappropriate type conversations with women at all. I don't care how cool we are, how, you know, you understand how we are, you know, I'm married, how much I love my wife and all those types of things. I'm not doing it. I'm mindful of making sure that I'm not in isolated situations with women. That I'm always in just situations where it's just her and I don't, because those type of things, particularly if it's somebody that you work with, that you spending 8 hours a day with outside of your wife. You hear people make those kind of comments and conversations all the time. That's your work wife or your work husband. Hell to the nah. That is
No.
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 Now, I got some fabulous people that I work with, and we can have conversations about. But these people are people who know I love my wife. And 9 times out of 10, when we're having a conversation, they're going to bring my wife and children up before I do. Because they understand how. And if they have any respect for you as a person, they're not going to do anything to violate or to put you in a situation that's going to make your marriage or situation fall apart. But everybody ain't like that. Some folks is slimy as shit. And bake you right. We tend to eternalize things often. And I know for me, I'm telling you, I am one of those people. I will tell you anything you want to know. I will give you honest feedback on anything you want to know. I hope you people are picking up on that. On anything you want to know. But in order for you to get it out of me, you got to ask sometimes. And if you don't ask,
you don't get it.
I don't give it to you. And it's not the fact that I'm trying to keep it or some secret type stuff. It's just me as a man. That's how I deal with stuff.
And me, I share.
This is how the conversation goes.
Probably.
No. I don't think she overshares because I love listening to her talk. So we get home right around the same time every day. Okay? I get home probably about 5 or 10 minutes early. So I come in this door right here. I'm sitting on that couch right there. My boots is taken off. I got my work clothes on. My pants is unbuttoned. My hat is probably in my head just like this. Cock back, just relaxing. No TV on, no music on, no nothing. I'm just sitting there. She comes in the door probably about 5 or 10 minutes later. Listen, man. And she'll come in and she'll say, hey, babe, how was your day? How was everything? Giving me the opportunity to share with her my day. Unfortunately, I often hit her with the, hey, it's all right, man, nothing big, I had this going on. So my explanation or viewpoint of the day is like a good 15, 20 seconds.
That's it.
Like, yo, bang, 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 and I'm done. You hear what I'm saying?
Not me.
Being the loving husband that your boy is. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, beautiful. How was your day? Man, 45 minutes to an hour damn later,
Come on,
bro.
man.
Listen,
It ain't that bad.
we be on the way to Walmart and she's
It do
still
not be
on
that
9
bad.
o'clock
Oh
of the
my
day. You know what I'm
gosh.
saying?
It is not that bad. It's that bad.
But again, it's one of those dynamics of our personality. And I don't think that's just a man-woman thing. I think that has a lot to do with people's personalities.
Yeah.
Like my wife loves to share with me her day. Like, oh man, I've been waiting to get home to tell you about what Nancy did at work today. How this chick done brung this damn meatloaf that didn't have no sauce on top of the meatloaf. You know you got to have red sauce on the meatloaf. And I'm sitting there thinking about, I don't give a damn about Nancy or that damn meatloaf. I don't, listen, when my meatloaf is done, make sure it's but it's one of those things, man, where I can easily be in a space where I just shut all that off and be like, yo, listen, man. Or ignore her, or start reading a book, or turn the channel on the TV, or doing something along those lines. But what I try to do is try to give her that undivided attention, man. But I'm telling you, it's one of those things because I know for her, that's important that I try to make sure that I facilitate, good word, that in order for us to continue to grow as one. Because my objective is to make sure that she's comfortable in our relationship.
Lord, this 2-year-old Jesus. I'll be back. I think it's cut off.
Yeah. So it's one of those type of dynamics, man. And then you have a family and you're trying to cultivate the right atmosphere and the right environment for you and your family. And I know as a man, the old thing is that, the man is the one who is, the woman is the man is the thermostat and the woman is, the heater, I guess, the furnace, how it go?
I don't know.
Somehow or another, she's the one that you got to make sure she's set the right way or the whole damn house is going to be hot or cold.
That whole happy wife, happy life thing.
I personally don't buy into that at all. I think that's foolish. I think if we ain't happy, not that one, because it puts so much of a responsibility unfairly on one person to make sure they maintain the happiness for
relationship.
Yeah, like, hold on, time out.
Right.
She got responsibilities to make sure that the heat is taken care of too.
Right. Because if somebody don't turn on the thermostat, we all cold in this joint.
But what are some of the things, growth-wise, in our relationship that you've enjoyed or some of the struggles? Let's start with the enjoy first, because everybody want to hear the funny part. Everybody tune in to hear funny ass El-Adena. So
no,
go ahead.
I'm not funny.
Now listen, man, you ain't got to lie to these good people, man. You got all these black and white folks that showed up to this, and now you gonna act like you ain't funny.
I'm not funny. Listen, I'm just here to tell the truth. That's all. I'm not funny.
Okay, would you go ahead and tell them something?
Okay, so some of the stuff I enjoy in our relationship,
or whatever,
is like I just like spending time with you because you fun or whatever. And um, I really enjoy our communication. Our communication for me though is kind of like a double-edged sword because he is so incredibly blunt, which is really awkward. Not awkward, but funny too because I can be very black and white as well. But my black and white comes with a little softness, and his don't. So, but I enjoy our communication. I think our communication is great. I enjoy the fact that we are legit friends. Like,
Yeah.
we have a really great time together. Like, even if we weren't married, we would have a really great time together.
Yeah.
Like, and it's cool that I get to go to bed with him and wake up with him and annoy him all day, telling him about my day. And watch him react to those things. I enjoy, I think, just the all around growth. I feel like a better person being his friend. Like, I just feel like I've learned a lot. I feel I like parts of me that I knew were there have grown, like different things that I've been interested in that he's been working towards and been doing. So the learning aspect of it has been fun. Just the entire relationship has just been one big great time. I mean, we don't really have a lot of downs or negatives necessarily, but
No. For me, the things that I enjoy is the level of peace that she's brought to me. Like, and listen, man, I'm trying to be serious with y'all good black and white folks. But
you want your charger or no?
Carla the clown over here was not.
Carla the clown.
Yeah, but you know, I had to find.
I don't like the name Carla. No shade.
It had to be,
Come
you
on,
know,
just come on, just
culturally
come on. You gotta keep
neutral.
talking. Come on, man. Look,
I couldn't just
you're
give.
15%.
I couldn't just
you need a
give
charger?
something.
Let me get you a
No,
charger.
no, I don't need the charger.
Okay,
We're not
come
talking to
on.
him that much longer.
Okay, well, all right
No,
then.
I gotta
Hell,
work in the
all right.
morning.
Well,
I
come
just
on.
listen. I was trying, but
I'm done being Carla the clown.
okay,
I'm over here.
but you understand
But
how I
I'm
had
right
to
here.
pick Carla because it's kind of culturally neutral. It's not really black, but it's not really white either. You know, it's kind of that in between balance there. I had to do that. Everybody understands. Listen, man, Trump is president. Things have changed. You got to be really careful what you say.
So you mean to tell me when President Barack was in office, you ain't had to be culturally correct?
No, you was
Because
Keisha.
everybody had...
You was Keisha the
Come
clown
on,
then.
man, listen.
It was
Come on,
cool
man.
then. Now things are a little different. You got to be careful. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, things that I enjoy is the fact of she really brings a sense of peace and calmness to me because I can be someone who takes on a lot of different responsibilities and a lot of different, responsibilities. But you've given me that kind of peace and focus that I need to be able just to deal with the things that are important and really flesh out some of the things that are not nearly as important in our relationship. But also the simple fact of even when you come out of every relationship that you come out of wasn't some War of the Roses, Fatal Attraction, he cheated on me, she cheated on me type of thing. Some relationships, damn it, it just didn't work. Literally, I don't hate you, you don't hate me, it's cool, but you move on to something that is more substantial than what you had in the areas that of which you currently have. There are some things that are better, and for me, there's a level and this goes from every last relationship.
EBB.
There's a level of where I can feel, and I think it has a lot to do with myself also, that I am 110% comfortable with who your boy is.
Is that right now?
Listen.
I think it's 120. I'm going to give you 10 extra because I love you.
I just told you Trump is in office. You can't give free stuff away.
That's not, listen, you worked hard for them extra 10 points, bro.
You can't, listen.
Hard.
They talking about cutting stuff, so just.
You know, we coming up on the 6-month wedding anniversary. You worked hard.
Hide the 10. Hide the 10 in your purse,
Listen,
like the old
put it
black
in
movies.
Okay.
In the
Just
braziers.
keep right here. Okay.
Some of the struggles.
Some of the struggles are communication.
Growth-wise. Growth.
For me, communication.
But you say that, like what? What is hard?
Like being able to recognize that I'm in a space and in a marriage and in a relationship and in a friendship where I can say what I need to say without you feeling some kind of way.
But you want to know why?
That's a struggle.
It may be, but for me...
You don't care.
It's not that I don't care, but my manhood is not tied into what you say or what you feel. Like, I'm still going to be a man
at the end
of the day, and I still have a responsibility to love you, respect you, outside of how you feel at the moment. And
Plus, it ain't like I'm saying nothing crazy. I ain't cussing them out or saying nothing, or trying to belittle him.
I think a lot of times in a lot of relationships, particularly within the black community, it's unfortunate that a lot of our women don't have the space to express themselves and address things that are going on with them physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually.
Because it be like that.
Things that you've experienced in past relationships that you want to be able to address, but you're not in the right situation, in the right relationship to be able to deal with those things. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, as a man, one of the most beautiful things is to be able to create an environment for your mate where you can sit back and be like, yeah, I see you growing. Yeah. And because you've given them that.
Because you facilitated it.
I don't even like the word facilitate because that seems almost manipulative. I like moderate.
Look at you. And you dropped your voice and come on down. Don't do that.
But you know what I'm saying?
I did.
It's one of those things where I encourage couples, man, to make sure you have those conversations because we have conversations where we talk about everything but what needs to be talked about.
Which is the bottom line is your relationship. And I think that...
So then you end up communicating with somebody else that you shouldn't communicate with.
But then you're portraying your spouse as somebody that they're not because you ain't really checked in and you're just going off of the day-to-day, but you've not checked in with them.
Sure.
And I think that it's sad, and I know I've been in situations where I thought it was just pitiful, child, where you just feel like you can't check in with them. Or if you try to check in, there's so much backlash about checking in. Like, what is wrong with checking in? There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling about the relationship? What did you think about dinner last night? Like, you know what I'm saying? Even asking just the most basic questions can help the other person to feel 1,000,000 times better. You know what I mean? And if you have created a space where you can speak freely as the man or the woman or whatever the case might be, then that helps. Like, that makes it so much better and provides, I think, just a really loving environment.
Somebody just asked me a question.
What have you learned as a wife that you didn't know prior to marriage? What? You know what? My Facebook Live is really launching, so I think I'm getting everything late.
Okay, what have you learned as a wife? Good, I thought that question was for me. Woo! Thank you. That's for you. What have you learned as a wife that you didn't know prior to marriage? What are some of the things you've learned?
And this, I don't know, this might sound kind of bad, but I've learned how to be patient with myself. I've learned how to, particularly in this marriage for me, I've learned how to be okay with me. I've learned how to take all the different aspects of me and apply them in the proper areas instead of just being wild all over the place. I've learned how to listen, not for the sake of responding, but for the sake of hearing. I've learned how to grow with somebody, how to maintain the togetherness and the growth of together. Um, I've learned a lot of things that in my first marriage I wanted, but I never got. And I realized in this marriage, I realized that my first marriage was very much so, I don't want to say like a materialist, like based on material stuff, but it was more so based on material stuff. It wasn't based on the things that are going to change, our family forever. Like it wasn't based on the things that it wasn't based on the things that matter. You know what I mean? The long term things that matter. And it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling to be in a relationship, a friendship, and a marriage with a man that values the same things that I value. So I've even had to learn how to reassess what I find to be valuable in life too in this marriage.
But you, if you've watched us before, you've heard me talk about everybody has baggage.
Yeah.
Everybody has baggage, and that's not from previous relationships, but from life in general. And it's not just the fact that you have baggage that people should be concerned about, but it's how you carry that baggage.
Right.
Or is the baggage just dragging you along?
Right.
And there's a distinct difference there. And because my wife has a particular amount of baggage dealing with when she communicates with someone, she expects a certain type of response. That, when she says things to me, my voice is deep. I'm taller than she is. I'm bigger than she is. I'm already straightforward. So you add that along with the fact of what she's already experienced, you can see how communication would be something that could potentially be a struggle. So for me, I had to get to a place where I did two things. I really learned and focused on listening. And the other dynamic was making sure that I never let her off the hook with just kind of bailing out of the situation. Like we might not continue the conversation right at that moment. Like I might just be like, okay, and allow her that time to kind of deal with the emotions that she's had based off of our conversation, plus past experiences, plus expectations, plus making sure that I respond and do things. All these things are in her bag now. So it's times like that I have to pull back and be like, okay, hold on. Okay. And I'll see her getting emotional and I won't say anything. I won't press, I won't push. But then there's other times where it's just like,
we got to.
Why are you crying?
Yeah, we got to.
And not on some, I'm crying because I'm hurt. Okay, tell me why you're hurt.
Right.
But it comes with time and creating that environment where you're able to do those type of things, where you're able to listen. Like on some real listen. And one of the things that my wife has struggled with is the fact of she oftentimes listens to me with an expectation of something else behind what I'm saying.
Right.
How was your day? Or matter of fact, let me give you this one. What's the weather outside? The weather outside is chilly. You need a jacket. She thinks there's more behind that, or more should come with it. Like, hey, listen, and I'm telling you. So now, instead of her trusting me even, she'll go and check the doggone weather. And I know that. Prime example. She was having issues with her truck. I took care of the issue with the truck. I talked to the man about the doggone truck.
Oh.
Everything. Listen, I did everything that was needed for the truck to be taken care of. Everything. But she still had 101 questions about the truck. So you know what we did? We went to the place together. I stood in the background behind her while she had all of the questions that she needed answered that were already answered again. Because what it did was it allowed her to have the freedom still to be herself. Because part of who she is someone who wants to be right there in the midst and having all those questions answered. But afterwards, we had a conversation. We're like, listen, you can trust me to do what I say I'm going to do. You can trust me to make sure that you're taken care of, that I'm not going to drop the ball on things. But I also know that this is part of who you are, that you needed to see this very thing. And it was a lesson for her more so of me, because she got a chance to see me, not because those are situations that men tend to get frustrated in.
Right.
Like men tend to want to,
right.
Like, how come you don't trust me?
Yeah. Everybody knucking and bucking and ready to fight.
But that's not the way it went.
But I be needing to know. I just need to. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm working on it. We haven't had another situation quite like that.
And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it because I'm an open guy. Like, listen, here's everything.
Right.
Here's my wallet, phone, work schedule, Social Security.
Yeah. We did get all that out the way early.
Whatever you need.
Early.
Here you go. You got it. Take it. Cool. But communication, man. Communication.
It will literally save your life. I always view it like this. I'm sorry, babe.
No, you're right.
I view it like this. If you're going to be, even if you're not married, right, and you're in a relationship with someone, I think about it like this. If I can't openly communicate with you, then I don't need to be with you. If I can lay in the bed with you every night and I can't communicate with you, we have a problem. If I can wash your drawers and cook you food and go to the bathroom behind you after you done blew it up, we sharing the same shower stall, we sharing the same hairbrush, we sharing the same this, we swapping body fluids. Listen, damn it, if I need to be able to talk to you. Like, it doesn't make sense to be with somebody that you cannot communicate with. And if you've not communicated with that person, your spouse or whoever your significant other, whatever, if you cannot communicate with that person and you haven't done so in a long time, just a regular old chill conversation, so when you sit down and you look at them and you say, hey, you want to sit and watch a movie with me tonight? And they look at you like, what the hell is going on? It's a problem.
But if you ain't communicating, period, that's with any relationship. Regardless if you're married, if you're dating, if you're courting, if y'all swapping bodily fluids, there should be some level. Who you been with? Who you shared that with? Have you ever? Do you ever? What you mean? All those type of things should be communicated.
Exactly.
But the last thing we want to portray to anybody is this insane notion that communication always is such an easy thing. Like, it's never hard to have a communication with somebody, a conversation with somebody, because sometimes it can be hard as hell to have those necessary conversations. Whether you're male, female, whatever you decide to call yourself on Thursday, it can be incredibly difficult to have a conversation, an open conversation. We're in one where you don't feel like you have to be the damn prosecutor or the defense attorney. Like, you're not trying to win the case. You're trying to get to a place in your relationship, in your situation, where you guys can be amicable again, where you can grow again. Because without effective communication, there's no growth.
Exactly.
Y'all just existing with each other.
Yeah.
Y'all roommates probably with sexual benefits. You're not doing anything. You have no plan for the future. Your kids don't know what the hell, if you have any, don't know what the hell is going on. Your finances are probably in all types of disarray. Emotionally, you probably a wreck. 9 times out of 10, either one or both of y'all got somebody on the side who you are communicating with.
Effectively.
And the only thing you haven't effectively done is leave your current situation to be in the one that you're communicating effectively with.
Which 9 times out of 10 is probably going to be a worse bet than just effectively communicate with the person you've been with for like 472 years. But you know that's a whole nother topic. We love y'all.
I just I see what the sister is saying. The manner in which we often communicate is a problem also.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm constantly talking to my wife about. It because I'm that cut and dry. I'm just saying it, and I'm just asking the point blank questions that I'm asking the questions that would make you feel like there's a hidden meaning behind it. Because it's just so direct that you feel as if there's an ulterior motive. When oftentimes it's
just what it is.
Quick example: my wife has been buying these tights online. Banging tights, the tights is lovely, but we've had conversations about her buying and spending money online. So I asked her today, like, listen, what is motivating you to spend that money online to buy stuff? All I wanted to know was what was motivating her. That's it.
Well, probably the fact that I can't fit in most of my clothes anymore.
And that wasn't the answer either. But nonetheless, that's what it has to be, man. And y'all can hear our lovely 2-year-old in the background.
And we don't want y'all to think we be ignoring her.
We don't want you to think
she really just don't want to go to bed. That's what's really happening.
That's all.
No. I didn't. You didn't watch that Facebook Live where I was talking about I need to get a new debit card because I know my debit card number by heart?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thanks, Sheena.
Thank you, Sheena. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And we're looking into the writing stuff that you sent us to. Because we're writing books.
Tone is important. Tone is important, and body language. Yes. Like, I'm really mindful of the body language in particular when I'm talking to the little one. Like, I try to make sure I get on her level and not just be looking down at her like this, which, you know, you're a freaking giant. You know what I mean? Like, but that's some of the things that we're dealing with in our continued growth in our relationship. They're not issues, they're not problems, they're not concerns, they're not red flags. Yeah. They're things that people go through in relationships. And we wanted to share with you guys some of those things. Would you like to close out? I did the Old and New Testament scripture.
Okay. What I got to do?
I did the prayer.
The benediction.
You got to do the benediction and the offering. Hold on. We got to do the offering. Don't y'all be trying to leave because...
Don't nobody go nowhere.
These cell phone bills, don't pay themselves.
Hello? EBB. Okay? Listen. Okay. We're going to have to open up the PayPal church. No plan.
Listen, I get it. Safeplace 525.
Wait. This is a joke.
I shouldn't get that?
You can give them the email address because we did have a couple people actually inquire like they needed some help, so we helped a couple folks.
Yeah, I think. If you need some good talk,
you want some real, you can email us at safeplace525@gmail.com.
And the messages are going to come to both of us, so it won't be any individual one person. No,
we don't do all that. Okay. We like group messages too if you need to do a group message situation.
But I promise you, as soon as that conversation is done, I'm bailing out of that doggone group.
That's how you do.
I don't hang out in the group joints.
He don't do inboxes.
I'm out.
Love you too.
But I ask for y'all, man, seriously, as we close out, to just pray for folks' relationships, man.
Even your own. Don't forget your own.
Pray for marriages. I'm not going to sit here and say marriages is under attack or none of that type of stuff because that's a whole nother type of discussion. But I do believe that people tend to make piss poor decisions
and then blame it on
under stress. Under stress, we tend to make really piss poor decisions, and just pray that people begin to church word, cleave to each other.
He done gave y'all church on what's today? Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Somebody's at Bible study right now, dreaming about what Shirley Caesar was singing about in the video.
See, this is where this is where it happens. This is where it happens. You see what happens here? This is what she does. This is what goes down. This is what takes place. She just grabs it and runs with it. Imagine having this all day long.
He loves me
All
though.
day long. You know what I'm saying?
He had done married me.
I get out of bed at 4:30 in the morning. At 4:33, black and white folk, this is what I'm dealing with. Until I lays it down about 9:33.
It's true.
This is what I'm dealing with.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's true.
It's like a combination of Def Comedy Jam, Comic View, and what's the white one that came on Comic Central? Don't act like you didn't watch it. With the Jeff Foxworthy and all.
Oh, they're my peoples. You might be a redneck if. Oh yeah, Jeff Foxworthy's the man. The man.
Well, I think Jesus was pleased.
I do too. I appreciate we be appreciating y'all coming by and sitting with us and conversating.
Man, I love to see good relationships, man. I love to see people working to make their relationships work. I love it. I love it. I love it. We don't have enough of that taking place within our community. So I'm praying for all you guys' relationships, situations, and marriages to be fruitful.
And not just children.
No. Because I ain't praying for all y'all to multiply, because some of y'all can't afford what you got now. We ain't even talking about family planning yet. We'll do that another time. But listen, if you can't afford to have them,
put your penis in your vagina back in your drawer.
No, you ain't got to do that. There's equipment. There's things that you can buy nowadays.
Prophylactics. Come on now.
Lack of proofs.
Yes. Don't lack them. Don't lack them.
Don't have to use.
Well, you know.
What happened?
Like, well.
Okay. All right. I guess that party is over. God bless you guys, man. Thank you again.
Thank you.
We out.